Hi, this is Derek Corcoran. I'm the Chief Experience Officer here at Avoka, and thank you for joining me today. In the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to talk about friction in the digital sales experience for financial products and the things, more importantly, that you can do to reduce friction and improve conversion rates. So if we look at this kind of simplified customer journey flow, assuming that a life event has occurred, which could be first home, first child, whatever it might be, and the marketing is effective, so you get found and the customer engages with your brand and with your product, my comments today are going to be focused on the sales step in that journey, when the customer gets or tries to get the product they want. Now, in particular, I'm going to focus on what happens between the customer hitting apply now and hitting submit, because today this is a real problem. We're seeing an average of around 85% abandonment across banks and credit unions for a range of products spanning accounts, cards, and loans. So that's 15% of customers actually completing an application that they've commenced. And in our work at Avoka, we've learned that as a customer effort increases, abandonment increases. So if we can reduce customer effort, we can in turn reduce abandonment. So if we can deliver a frictionless customer experience, we can increase completion rates. But terms like effort and abandonment are somewhat qualitative, and we'd rather work in the quantitative, something we can measure, something we can manage. So we've developed the Avoka transaction effort score, and using it, we can measure the effort associated with your current application experience. We can benchmark it against best practice in the industry and identify measurable opportunities for improvement. We've already used the transaction effort score in projects with customers, and we've seen tangible results in terms of reducing abandonment. Now, the factors that go into consideration to measure effort in the transaction effort score include, and I'm starting kind of top left and going anti-clockwise, the field type. So what we mean by that is keyboard is harder to use than a radio button, especially on a touchscreen device. Then there's the field length. So entering my social security number is easier than entering my email address. Field occurrence. So previous address is only completed about 40% of the time. So it doesn't occur 100% of the time, such as a mandatory field. Information familiarity. If you ask me for my date of birth, I just know it off the top of my head, but I don't know my driver's license expiry date. And so on. We move around that circle. But if you want to get a feeling for your transaction effort score for a particular product, we've created a simplified web-based version of the effort score on the Avoka website. If you complete the short questionnaire, you'll get an indicative score for your Apply Now experience, along with some recommendations on how to improve that score. And if you actually want a more detailed assessment of your effort score, contact us after this webinar and we'll be happy to help. So with all that said, what can you do about it? Well, there's actually plenty of things you can do. But here are our top 12 things that you can do to reduce customer effort, reduce abandonment, and improve the results of your digital sales effort. So number one, design from the customer in. So what we mean by that is figure out what information you need in your core banking or your loan origination system to onboard a customer or a new product. But then design the application experience that works for the customer, independent of those core systems. You can always take that customer data that's collected in a way that's easy for the customer and transform it to match your core system requirements. Number two, omnichannel. So customers want to engage with you the way they want to engage with you. Some might prefer the branch, others digital. Some might want to start in a branch with a conversation but then finish at home. Some might want to start on their phone but get help through the branch or a call center. So whatever way they want to engage, we need to support it. So you need to support every channel, every device, and crossover between channels and devices in that single transaction. Number three, minimize fields. Every keystroke, every mouse click, every screen tap contributes to abandonment. So you need to minimize them relentlessly. Don't just ask, hey, do we need that field? Ask the owner of that piece of information to show you where it's used in your onboarding process to today. And if it's something that they might want to use, if it's not really used today, cut it. There are examples in the market of banks that have done this to great effect. So there is precedence. So a couple of small examples. See how this address block of 6 fields has been reduced to a single address type ahead field. Now in the background, that's getting broken up into the separate fields, so we have state and zip code separately. But the effort for the customer is a hell of a lot less. And this question on the right about time at your current address, it's a lot easier to remember if you've been at an address for 2 years or more, as opposed to the month and year you moved in. And that's what the bank wanted to know, was if you've been in the address more than 2 years. And because you're a bank or a credit union, if you ask a question, people expect you're looking for an exact answer. Otherwise, they're concerned you might think that they're being somewhat fraudulent. So we need to be careful about making it easy for people to answer the questions and really provide us with the information we need. Number 4, all information is not equal, so ask tough questions last. This is a photograph of an actual bowl in my home where I put my wallet and keys. So when I'm leaving the house, I know where they are. But if I'm applying for a bank account, I'm on the sofa or I'm in my home office. I am not beside that bowl. So if you need my driver's license details for KYC, which I completely understand, I'll need to get up and get my wallet. Now, if you ask me for that when I'm 10% of the way into an application, I don't mind abandoning. I'm not really invested at that point. But if you ask me that when I'm 80% of the way through an application, I'm invested and I do mind abandoning. So ask tough questions last and offer me the ability to save a partially completed application in case I don't have the answer you need right now. Number 5, design for mobile first or the touchscreen. That means avoid the keyboard where possible and design around the reach of the right thumb. Make targets easy to hit. For example, you can see on the left, these fields span the width of the screen. That makes them easy to hit. Same with the next button on the right-hand side. It's easy to hit. These are small details that make a difference to the ease of use for the customer when completing your application. Number 6, there are lots of pre-fill options that will reduce customer effort. Try and use them. For example, scanning the barcode on a driver's license will typically fill 11 fields, eliminating around 70 keystrokes in an application. That's about half of what you need to onboard somebody into a checking account. And there are lots of other options that are well worth exploring. Number 7, use conversational language. You can soften the application experience with some nice sentences, some nice language that's more conversational than demanding. If somebody was completing an application in a branch, it would be a conversation, not an interrogation. Number 8, don't use all capitals. When you learn to read at school, you learn to read in sentence case, not uppercase. So your brain recognizes words in sentence case rather than in uppercase. So the cognitive load, the amount that your brain has to work to read something in sentence case is lower. So use it. Take a look at the 3 example sentences in yellow. I think you'll agree the last one is the easiest to read. You almost don't need to read it. And there's a reason for that. It's the way you learned to read. Number 9, position labels above fields. This isn't just best practice for mobile devices. This works on desktop as well, because it makes it easier for the eye to move through an application form. It minimizes the chances the customer will miss something because they're going from left to right and down the screen. This also applies to trying to create application experiences that have a single column layout. Number 10, group similar tasks together. If you require a copy of last year's tax return for a loan application and the outstanding balance on my mortgage, those are 2 documents I probably have in my filing cabinet. Now, if you split those requests into 2 different sections of the application form, you're going to make me visit that filing cabinet twice. That's not convenient or frictionless. But if you group similar tasks like document gathering together, so I can knock them all over in a single step, then you're making it easier for me. Number 11, and we're nearly there. Remember, there were 12. Lead capture. Applications for products such as a loan or an investment account are lengthy. The chances of abandonment increase the longer the application form and the associated process. Do yourself and the customer a favor and capture enough information early to create a lead that you can subsequently follow up. We worked with one bank who did this on personal loan applications. They followed up all the abandoned applications as leads, and they converted 40% of them, 40, to customers. So in addition to trying to complete the application process with the customer, they asked why the customer had abandoned. And they got answers back such as, my cell phone lost its signal, or the battery on my laptop died. One parent said that their child had just gotten sick and they had to go and deal with that. And when they came back to the laptop, the session had timed out. They thought they'd lost their application. So the lesson was, life gets in the way. But they followed up. They converted 40% of these customers, prospects, into customers. So it was well worth doing. And finally, number 12, don't let perfection be the enemy of good. Or I believe it was Confucius that's credited with saying, better a diamond with flaws than a pebble without. If today you only offer loan applications through the branch and you want to move to a fully integrated omnichannel experience with automated decisioning, chances are that's a huge leap. That's probably going to take 9, 12, or 18 months to complete. The problem with that is that's 9, 12, or 18 months when nothing changes, nothing improves. But if you break it into phases, if you're willing to improve the customer experience with a digital application with maybe electronic identity verification as a first step, then you can add automated credit or decisioning incrementally, building towards that fully integrated offering. Don't let the customer experience continue to languish whilst you prepare for straight-through processing. So this is your benchmark. Amazon one-click. Amazon have made it as easy as they possibly can for customers to purchase goods with one click. I can pre-configure my payment details, my delivery details, and with a single click, I can order something, pay for it, and have it shipped to my home. Now, you're not selling sneakers, so you'll never be able to offer a banking product at one click. Your internal risk and compliance people wouldn't allow it, never mind the regulator. But somewhere between what you're doing today and one click is a better experience. And we've seen evidence that if you deliver it, customers will reward you with increased business. And this is something that Avoka can assist with. Our technology platform, Avoka Transact, is a platform for omnichannel sales transactions. And it allows you to focus on minimizing the friction in the application process for the customer. So whether it's a personal checking account, small business loan, or retirement products like an IRA, you can leverage the rapid delivery capabilities of Avoka Transact to accelerate the digital sales component of your institution's digital transformation. We will help you get to where you would like to be in terms of offering that frictionless experience faster than if you tried to build that solution yourself. And by leveraging the capabilities of the platform, out of the box, we're going to give you a range of functionality that you can turn on or turn off, all designed to help you design and deliver a customer experience that will improve completion rates. So we've pre-built the ability to save and resume an application, collaborate between multiple parties. We've integrated with multiple providers for things like snapping a photograph of a driver's license to extract the data and pre-fill the application. And on the left-hand side, we've got this product bundling note. What we mean by that is, because we are a dedicated layer focused on the customer experience for data collection, that means that you can bundle multiple products into a single application experience. So I could apply for a credit card and get a deposit account at the same time. I could apply for a home loan and get a credit card and send a request through to a financial advisor saying, I'd like to talk about an IRA, all from a single application experience. We collect the data once, split it, and deliver it to the places where it needs to be. But the application form is just the top of the iceberg. Behind the scenes, we're providing the server environment that allows you to manage and optimize these application experiences. So there are capabilities in here that provide the security, the reliability that you need within a platform as a financial institution. There's the analytics and the digital marketing integration to help you understand how well your experiences are performing and what you can potentially do to improve conversion rates and reduce abandonment. And if somebody does happen to abandon this beautiful application experience that you've created, there's an abandonment management capability where we don't lose that partially completed application. We generate it, turn it into a lead, and then you can configure what qualifies as a lead and how you actually want to follow up on them. So if improving your omnichannel customer acquisition is a priority for you right now, please let us know after this webinar.